Tuesday, everybody. It is a wonderful one here at Famine Studios. How are we this evening? I see we've already got some friends of the show in the room. We got our boy Bjorn here, first one in. Of course, he turns the lights on, playing with my 375. Hello, hello. And then this guy, I don't know. He just keeps encouraging people to click buttons. I don't appreciate that, you know. But you should do what he asks. But be a little wary. Let's see. So today we've got, let me know if you guys can hear the fan that I have running in the other window. It got up to 76 here today, and it heated up the whole house. And, yeah, weren't really prepared for that. So got to be careful. Put the fan in the window to cool it down. Hi, Mama Rosie. But I am excited today. We're going to be working on our Triceratops. Good. That's good, Bjorn. Last week, we created a custom leg. We started building some lore. I do want to put some more Final Faction greeblies on there just to shore a couple of things up before we move on and make I'm thinking a saddle and I don't know what you call it, like a platform to carry things on the back. So that's going to be on today's agenda. Glad you can make it, Lord of Things. Still chilling in our time zone, so that's always helpful in making sure that you're here on time. All right. So I am rocking three beverages today. I am a thirsty boy, trying to get more water in me. And also, you know, getting prepared for a certain TV show that's coming out Wednesday. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. Fallout. I don't know. You might have heard of it, but you should visit my friend's page on Etsy, Outlaw Pagan. Put an alert on for when the Vault Tech cups go back out, because believe it or not, they made the cups that are used in the Overseer's office on the show. So that's fucking dope. Okay. I don't know if it's going to be a fruit carrier. I think it's just going to be some sort of platform that allows a person to utilize this guy to move heavy items. What's going on, Red? Hello, hello. Glad you could join us. So while you guys are filtering in, and hello to anybody that's joining the channel, I'm going to start attaching these other greeblies real quick. Yeah, that's the plan. Let's get into it. Bring you guys down here. So I'm going to get a couple of toothpicks. And I'm going to use these bad boys to apply some super glue or some greeblies. All right. Sir, ma'am, it's super glue. You can't have it. It's actually glued shut on me, I think. Which actually tracks. Yeah, that's absolutely glued shut there. Let's see if I'm strong enough to open this up. Nope. I am not strong enough to open that up. However, I am clever enough to know that I can unthread that and use it that way. So here we are. So let's get some of the glue out of the schnozzle, modal. And let me know if the music that's playing during the stream is a little loud. I don't know if some people use headphones or whatnot that make it louder or quieter. I don't know. I just work here. Okay. Piston that in there. Okay, so that's in that spot there, and then I'm going to take a little bit more of the glue. I'm just going to create a line there. Press that down. activator on there. Put that in here. Make it stick fast. Okay. And that is now on there. Looking like another type of piston on that side. And then let's do, thinking maybe another one right next to it. Like something like maybe this. So it really looks like it's supporting the weight. I'm not sure. Or we could do one on the opposite side of the leg. Like, yeah. Let me cut that with some side cutters, some nips, snips. And yes, I did see the Outlaws trailer today. Very excited about that. I don't get the furor, the absolute fury, except from what I understand from apparently a lot of Star Wars on the internet. Women are inherently bad, and you should never play as a girl in a video game. It is part of the agenda to make Star Wars fans gay, and Kathleen Kennedy needs to be fired. I think those are the things I picked up today, so. But I mean, also, really cool fucking speeder bike in that trailer. That was dope. And, yeah, I'm looking forward to that game. I may actually save up my coins and get a console so that I can play the game. As currently, I do not have any of the next-gen consoles. I have a borrowed PlayStation 3 that I play Fallout New Vegas on, because that's the best Fallout. And yeah, that's where I'm at as far as gaming goes. But I am looking forward to that game coming out. It does look very entertaining. The details and the graphics look really great. I'm excited. Are we in agreement that that's Kyle Katarn in the trailer? Like, have we come to that conclusion? Did they give him a name and I just missed it, or is that Kyle Katarn? I guess it's gay because they say so and they're afraid of women, I think, is the main thing that I took away from that, is that girls are scary, that the game should allow you to be a male because males are the common demographic. And yeah, I'm not quite sure. Not quite sure. I just work here, man. I just work here. Let's get this glue off the stick. Now, took care of that. We're going to set the glue aside. See what else is going on in the chat. Yeah, the speeder bike looks cool. I have a motorcycle in about 1/18 scale that I plan on using to make a very similar speeder bike. Again, yeah, looks very good. I mean, I'm convinced it's Kyle Katarn. I think that they're gonna hit us with that towards the end of the game. Make those people happy that are screaming, carrying on that it should be Kyle. Sure was a Sarlacc, I think. Or was it the worm from the asteroid? Who knows? I don't know. To be a gamer again, watch a playthrough. Yeah, I do that more. Yeah, heard the same complaints then. I thought the game was phenomenal. So I'm not quite sure why these people carry on and stomp their feet and carry on like babies, but, you know, is what it is. Could you stop bumping into the table, man? Yes, I know. You're very excited to be here. Yeah. Hi. The dogs say hello. But yes, as far as the playthrough goes, I do that more and more. I'll just sit and watch a playthrough, or I'll put a playthrough on the TV when I'm working and have something going in the background, just to get the main beats of the story and whatnot. See if there's anything interesting. I still would love to play, and I really enjoyed Battlefront 2. I bought that, and I think I played it at my girlfriend's house during the pandemic, during the height of the pandemic, and I had a really good time playing that game. So yeah, I get that. I sincerely do. I get the desire that you want to make your own character, but I also, if you want stories that are keeping in canon, then you can't have a character that's going to be, fucking outrageous, or, um, it's a guy in a yellow raincoat, and then on the cutscenes are that, and it's like, okay, what's the lore? You know what I mean? Like, it full customization. Use your words, Famine. Full customization. The way that people are carrying and stomping their feet because it's a girl, what they want, versus what I think was awesome in Jedi Survivor, is that you could change your haircut, change your clothing style, and all that stuff. Like, I'm on board for that. But like, when you go and you need a whole, your character has to be your own specialty guy, and he's got to look just like the way you want it, and you choose your alien, all that stuff. It's not going to give you a story that's canon in Star Wars, and that's what every Star Wars thing is there's an overlying arc of what's considered canon and part of the story. And if you do fully customizable, you're not going to have that. And then people are going to cry about that. So it's that double-edged sword. But I don't know. Can't please everybody, my friends. Cannot please everybody. So, speaking of pleasing, I'm very happy with how that leg came out. Looks very mechanical. I'm thinking for the labor aspect of this guy, whatever he's going to be doing for carrying things around, he's going to need like something on his back, right? What are you guys doing? You bunch of delinquents over there. Hey, what'd you do? Uno momento, por favor. These dogs are up to something. I don't trust you. I don't trust them. Anyhow. And yes, people will. No, see, that's the thing. Is like it's got to have canon. It's got to follow canon, or people will complain worse, and it will always lead. It's just kind of like the books, right? Comes to when people start wanting stuff in games. And again, they did that with Jedi Survivor, and yet to be seen whether or not we can do that. But I'm seeing already like skins for ships and stuff like that. So who knows what they're doing? They haven't really revealed much about the gameplay itself. What's going on? Red dumpster babies. Yes, absolutely. And speaking of, I want to get my patrons rolling across the bottom of the screen here. A huge thank you, as always, Bjorn, the first patron. Playing my 375, Lord of Thane, Task Force Wombat, Fat Red Foo, and Toy Domination. Appreciate you guys all. You guys help keep this channel going with the lives. You guys get the behind-the-scenes blogs, the content that comes out on the Patreon, the special tier rewards that are actually coming Friday. You guys get them Friday. I'm excited. I have to print mine out and just verify that everything lines up, but they're dope. And it's actually going to be 2 sheets. The first one was just going to be 1 sheet. I came up with a second sheet of decals I was very excited about, so I put out 2 for the first month just as like a, hey, thank you guys for helping me get this launched off of what it is. So kudos to you guys for that. And the link to the Patreon is in the comments section, pinned at the top. And there's piracy going on. Cheese from Rio, keep filtering what she wants. Yeah. That'd be it, too. Here you go, guys. Stark. Mama Rosie. It's a treat for you. Mr. Cowman. Oh, careful, bud. Go enjoy. So, as I was saying, I was rummaging through my parts, have those Final Faction bits and bobs, which I'll be sure to use some of them. But I also had this thing, which, I mean, it's like the back of a battery case of something, like it's screwed in. But what's cool is it's got like an area that I could use as seating, and then it's got an area of cargo. Alternatively, I could flip it over and do the same thing, but with a little more weird detail. But I'm thinking that this way might be the way to go. And I'll show you what I was feeling. Let's do something like that. And then on the ass end of it, I've got like this weird thing here. It was like a front of a elevator or something that maybe possibly I could put that on there, or have it up front with the driver as a safety thing, or even like, you know, mount that to the Triceratops head. They can hang lights and stuff off of them for work. I don't want it to be a sled. Yes, you have to feed your toys. If you're not feeding your toys, you're not a real collector. You're a terrible person, and you should have your toys taken away. You should also clothe and bathe them, I'm told. So, but yeah, I thought about doing the pull behind sled, but again, it is Star Wars enough in this area. It is sci-fi enough in this area that there's nobody doing any like shoveling, right? Like nobody's out there shoveling unless they're really, 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 really poor or they want to. But mostly even the poor people have access to rudimentary things such as, cart lifts or large animal labor or things like that to do that type of work, which is why I was thinking like, maybe do something like this, put that on there, and utilize it like a Space El Camino. I grew up, my dad had an El Camino, and before he went away, he left it in the driveway, and it was a blue El Camino, and it had 3 or 4 different colored panels on it because it was like a restore, and I'll always remember that thing sitting in the driveway taking up space. Thinking I do want to pop these off. These wheelie bits, they're not serving me any purpose. They're just in the way. I'm not sure how I can get them off there. And we'll do it the old-fashioned way. Brute force with a pair of cutters. Because that's how we do it here at Famine Studios. Path of least resistance. I'll just trim that extra plastic off of there, so when we sand this, it's a little less material we got to take down. Again. And I'll save the little greebly, whatever the hell it is. It was a wheel for like an elevator or something to ride on the track, but I don't need it right now for this, so. Oh, there was a metal pin in there. That's why it was so hard to get out. Okay. And in case you guys are wondering, you can get shirts at TeePublic. They are up now at Famine Studios. There are a few designs up there. There's stickers. There's freaking cell phone cases, coffee mugs, all that stuff. I know Bjorn got a compliment from Subway Worker on his shirt. Was curious about that, so that's always cool. You guys want to, style and profile, be seen? Absolutely go pick up some of these shirts. And we also do have WAMC ones on Rad's channel, and I know that Rad's got some of his own over there. Eddie's got some on his page, so be sure to check those out. And some of those folks I mentioned, here's the schedule. And I know Lord of Thane and Pirates, they have shirts up both on their pages as well. They're on Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We've got our friends Toy Domination. They also have shirts over there. Those guys are on Thursday nights usually. And then you've got World Makers Consortium on Friday. So be sure to check those out and get a cool shirt so you can be like us. Let's check the comments. I might have. You don't know. Hashtag collection, yep. Justin, how's it going? What if you made it a walking cart? Got more legs. I don't got more legs. There you go. That's how I roll. I add ideas to things. But I'm thinking like right there is a stellar spot to place this. But before we do, I want to take, yes, ma'am. Do you see that you're on the TV on the computer? Hello, Mama Rosie. Say hi. Mama Rosie says, send more treats. Mama Rosie, send more treats. But I'm thinking right here, so we'll do a little cutting too. I'd like to make this a little bit more, have a better radius on there so it fits a little more snug when we attach it. Thought about making it removable, but I don't care that much to do so. So it's going to be a permanent labor, and that's going to be that. And then this, again, I think we're going to go here. I like the idea of that being on there. And again, people can, hang things from it, put signs, flashing lights, run a cord for the saddle. So let's get moving on this bad boy here. So I'm going to use these same snips again. I'm just going to carve basically just a little U shape. Hello, ma'am. Oh, hi, Stark. You're on the tube too. Yeah, buddy, and so are my jeans that I put on the floor. Yeah. Really got to think of camera angles. Okay. That's out of the way. Maybe now. Oh, yeah. See, that sits, well, until I wobble it around, but that sits way more flush with the critter. Let's try and cut one of these out, maybe. There we go. See if that helps at all. It did absolutely nothing, so I'm not going to worry too much about the other side. All right. So let's get a little sanding done. we'll start with a sanding stick and see where we go from there. But I want to get this like made in China stuff off of here. I'll probably wind up covering this with styrene or something like that and go from there. Absolutely. Oh, from Marauders? Awesome. Yeah, Task Force makes some cool stuff. I got a lot of accessories from them recently and really appreciate not only their customer care, their overall attitude towards their customers, and their basically the products that they make are really good, and they're things that people have been asking for in this community, and it's great to have a resource for that. Yeah, I'm feeling super lazy, so we're gonna cover that with some cardstock. I think cardstock is the way to go. Same with the back, because I'm lazy. It's really all it boils down to. Sometimes laziness wins. I'm not really losing anything. Or I could do foam. EVA foam. Yeah, let's do foam. Why not? Some EVA foam. And goggles are great. And they fit other figures, but you can also modify them and edit them to make them fit other figures very easily. That's another thing I super appreciate about their stuff. Bro, what are you doing? Look down, losing things. Stuff's falling on the floor. Cowman's trying to get into the stuff again. He's been a naughty boy today. Just to show you, the width of the ruler perfectly sits and covers that. So also gravity works in my house. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that section of wording out just about 2 inches on the nose. So we will go in just about 2 inches. 2 inches is big enough, right? Right? Oh, God. His IG figure on his IG page. Okay. Took me a second to understand what in the blue fuck you were saying there, Bjorn. Not gonna lie to you, buddy. I thought maybe you were like being attacked by a Bigfoot or a Wookiee or something. How are we all feeling about all the pictures and stuff that are coming out of the next Star Wars series, Acolyte? I think it's cool that they're making a point to show there's going to be a lot of lasers and lightsabers in this show. I know that's one big thing that people have been crying about there not being any. One thing I'm curious about, and I guess maybe I missed it, maybe I haven't seen it. We're just gonna pin that to the top of the page. One thing I haven't seen on there is, what is the Republic, the High Republic's era stormtroopers? What are they like? What do they look like? I've not read any of the books, nor the comics, so I don't know what the High Republic era quote unquote stormtrooper equivalent looks like. So if anybody knows or wants to share or has any insight, that's what I'm saying. I thought like a Wookiee Jedi, that's dope. Speeder bikes are dope. Which is weird. But I mean, I guess that makes sense. I could have sworn that there had always been like some type of trooper. I don't know. As you can tell, I'm not really a Star Wars fan because I like the thing. So I had somebody tell me that once. You like everything. You're not a real fan. Huh? I said, what? I'm not a fan because I enjoy the product? Come again? All right. And stick that right down on there. Whoa. There we go. Oh, look at that. Blurg in the TVC. Yep, absolutely. No comics, no stormtroopers. Okay. Civil service. So like cops, like space cops. Eddie's here. What's up, Eddie? How you doing, girl? Second forces, which explains how they were able to blockade an entire planet on Naboo and not face any real resistance. That's that. Glued in there. National Guard. Okay. That makes sense. And then let's see here. Look at that. In the back, it's the same dimension as well. But in the back, I'm actually going to do the whole thing. So it's 2 inches by... It's actually 2 by 2. That can't be right. It is right. It's 2 by 2. Okay. Yeah, I have... I had both those figures. Now I just have Ahmed, his character, which was, you know, very dope, very neat figure to have. Love when we get those, like George Sokal, when George Lucas, or Howard George, you know what I'm trying to say. The goddamn senator they had him dressed up as when we got that toy. I was like, that's dope. And then there's the pilot of George Lucas, which they have it toying around, and I should totally go pick it up and get it. I don't know why I haven't, but there we go. But I like when they do that for especially costumed actors that that don't get their faces shown or would like to be, you know, somebody else. I like that Mark Hamill had cameos in other stuff, and including the prequels and the sequels, even outside of the Luke Skywalker character that nobody knew about. And every once in a while, he just casually drops that he's like, "Oh, I did a voice for this," and blah blah blah. Okay, Baron Papanodia and George Sokal was his X-wing pilot name. That's right. Or Jort. You guys know what I'm trying to say. It's been a week. Okay. You better sit down on that pillow, sir. Yeah. Damn near perfect fit. I'm not even gonna. Well, I might round the. I'm not gonna worry about rounding the corners. Yeah. He played the Blue Senator, but also they released at Celebration 2 a George Lucas figure as him. Of George Lucas as a X-wing pilot. So let's get a little super glue on here. And I'm not doing super above shot camera for this because it's literally just applying glue with a stick and pressing things down. It's quite literally nothing that anybody isn't capable of or needs to see. And it allows me to keep up with the chat a little bit easier here. Okay. Glue it back there. Perfect. And we got that. It's all rebel propaganda. And we've got those in there. Like I said, I'll take care of the little radius. Guess I'll use this as don't matter. Like, it truly doesn't. This is just me being particular. All right, so got that. So let's add so I've got a tray that fits right in there. So at least we'll have a removable. I've got two trays then. If the top fits or the bottom fits, that means that the top also fits. So we'll have two removable space trays. And yeah, anything that's in space, I call space trays or space blah. Oh, heads up. Like space dinosaurs that we're working on right now. Just trim that up. Hit all the stuff that I just cut with a sanding stick. That's goofy as hell. I didn't even think I was looking for something else in that bin. But if they fit, right? I don't think they care, man. I think in a lot of cases, might makes right for people. And yeah. You don't know anything about that on my right there. Don't worry about that. That's for another time. But again, little tray, little transparent tray. This is black. They'll get painted. But that'll actually be really cool to be able to load it up with stuff and have it switched out. So that's a happy accident. You know, Bob Ross talks about happy accidents. That was a damn happy accident there. I just broke that, but that's fine. Ain't nobody need to know. Like, that's hell yeah. Bet we could somehow stack them. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's pretty much like a lot of bad guys. Right, so it's fictional. It's fictional space, right? It's outer space. It's all fictional. It's all hypothetical. But if the Empire is the space Nazis, right? They're the space Nazis. The Nazis did not give a shit of what they were doing. They didn't think it was bad. They just thought it was and I don't say they thought it was a means to an end, and they were happy to continue doing the awful things that they were doing to meet that end. Same with the Empire. They were happy to continue doing the Emperor's bidding. They followed orders. They, like, it was very much an allegory for that. And in Star Wars, like, some characters had a change of heart. Other characters were forced into the service, conscripted. That's why my favorite thing that Star Wars has ever done is the episode of The Mandalorian from season 2 called The Believer, where Migs Mayfield is that they start talking about burning. I want to say burning Kong, but it's not, because burning Kong's Vietnam. But it's the same, essentially the same thing. And Operation Cinder, and they talk about, like, you know, hey, we outlasted them, blah blah blah. Like, they just don't. There's no morality there because of the belief of superiority. And so, you know, that's when he finally was just like, yeah, you know, and snapped and did that. That was my favorite thing Star Wars has ever done. More than A New Hope, more than, you know, Empire, more than Jedi, more than the prequels, anything like that. That episode, just something fundamental about that episode was just like it for me. Like, that's cinema. And like, just Pedro acting the greats that come with the Predators and Alien figures also slot into that. The instance where you can see when he's looking around, he doesn't turn his head, and it occurs to me that that's because of him wearing the helmet all the time. He never gives away where he's looking, so he could be standing there talking to me and you, and he could be looking at the other two gunmen who think they've got the jump on him, and the entire time he was doing that, he kept his head locked on the person that was talking, and he was looking around. It was very, very interesting method acting for that, and I love that. I love the idea of that, but it's just that whole scene was so good. And, you know, Mig stepping up to try and, you know, cover and you know, talk about him losing his hearing and all this other stuff to just like save face, and then just eventually was just like, fuck it, can't do it. Was a fantastic scene, absolutely. And that was a good scene too. I don't think that was as impactful for me, but it was certainly a good scene, and I was surprised that it went that way. So that is damn cool. Maybe I'll have to make that into something additional that like clips on there, like sits there. Yep. Seismic charge. Yep. Yeah. Okay, all right. So let's figure out how we're going to mount this to the dinosaur now. I'm leaning towards foam just because it's easy. You know, make it look like there's some type of saddle pad under there or something. But that's how that'll sit. We'll put some stuff under here. We'll greebly that up. We'll put some stuff on the sides, maybe some saddlebags hanging off. But I like that silhouette a lot. So let's then scuff up this crappy plastic. And it is cheap plastic too. Scuff that up a bit. And then we'll also, I'm going to use a 2-part knockout combo of hot glue and super glue. I'm going to use hot glue for the middle so that it has the time to slow cool and attach, but I'm going to use the super glue for the edges just so that they get a pure grip on there. When I put that there, this piece will be, I'm going to keep it yellow. I like the caution yellow. But I think this will be the piece that I put on last after I paint the dinosaur, because that would be a real bitch to try and get in there. No, sir, it's not for you. That'd be a real pain in the ass to try and get in there with a paintbrush and paint the frill. So in the meantime, that'll sit off. Yeah. I'm looking forward to getting this piece on here and then figuring out a chair so that we can start to expand the lore of this little cart thing. So I'm going to go ahead, speaking of paint, I'm just going to go ahead and clean this up, get a little sanding done here. And yes, thank you, Red. It should be interesting to see how I get this thing put together. I kind of had an idea in my head, and as I try these pieces, it's evolving. It was a little more of a grand part for the top, but I think that this just lends itself. This smaller could almost be a pygmy, or a runt of the Triceratops group. I could say it's a young one, but it's like it's fully grown. It's got its full horns. It's got its musculature, all that lovely stuff. So as far as storyline goes, it's just fine. It's my world. I can do what I want. I realize I said that like somebody was challenging me on that. They weren't. It was just, that's how it came out. I apologize. Just clean this off a bit with the knife. Get all that extra material off. And scuffing it up again just is going to help the paint stick. Help everything stick a lot easier. Make our lives easier. Pick up the Habitat Defender trike. No, I did not. I want to get both of them. The mint. There's two new ones out too. The mint green one and the white one. It's puffy holsters. Okay. Oh yeah, he's shipping in the United States. People are getting them in the States. And for those who are new to the channel, welcome, welcome. I appreciate you being here. Hopefully you like this mayhem that goes on here. We do live videos every Tuesday, just near about. We do live videos sometimes on Friday nights. We also do long form content and reels here on the channel. Be sure to check those out if you're interested and you think that, you benefited from the channel, you want to help continue to support it and have this thing grow. Please feel free to check out the Patreon. There's a couple of tiers there that you can sign up for, and it helps contribute. There's also a free tier if that's your thing. I know it's hard out here for a pimp trying to make that money for the rent, so make sure you go check that out, and it's a great way to keep up with the channel and what we're doing on here. So please feel free. I appreciate that. I'm sure somebody will be making leather holsters for that bad boy before it's done. You guys down here. I've already put my super glue on. So what I'll do is I'll put a little glue there, a little glue there, there. Let's see what we get this guy to land, right? And Yahtzee. All right. Okay. That's where he's going to sit. So I'll just take this in here. All right. Stupid spider webs. Did you guys know, if you've ever been to a haunted house, like a real, professional haunted house, I'm talking like Halloween attraction, not a, a spooky place. If you've ever been to one, the spider webs and cobwebs that are usually up all over the place were done. that didn't adhere at all. We're done with hot glue and a fan. there's a common trick that's used in the haunt industry where basically you get a blower and you hook it up to a hot glue gun and it blows the hot glue strands out, and you basically point it in your corners and stuff, and it makes spider webs and cobwebs. And then sometimes they'll throw a little cornstarch or flour on there and make it like appear dusty, and that is how they get those spider webs. Your boy Famine used to run a home haunt. I know a lot about them. I did a little bit of the stuff that they do, and I always found that fascinating. That something as simple as a hot glue gun could change the entire appearance of something to make it look like it was that old and that weathered. Look at that. That in there. Get this dinosaur to balance the right way. I am going to have to fuss with his feet a little bit, but I'm not entirely too worried. I think that's pretty goddamn neat. Cool, cool, cool. So we're going to let that dry for a minute. Just let that hot glue do its thing. I'm going to trim up some of the over squeeze that I had in a couple areas, try and get this glue out while it's a little bit easier to peel, because we are going to go back in the bottom and just tack some things underneath, add some hoses and whatnot to make it look mechanical and supportive, to disguise the fact that, you know, you can see through it. Force ratio, go to power. I mean, yeah, I can give you a first look here. I want to see what you guys are talking about here. Had me on in the background today at Chucky's or at home. Fleet suit's purple when it's clearly blue. Well, here's the thing. His flight suit may have actually been a lavender shade, and it's all how we see it through the camera lens. Something I learned from my years and years and years of following ILM creators, talking to them via email, reaching out randomly, cold messaging people on Facebook before I realized that was kind of like rude. That worked on these productions, and a lot of the things that we see through the camera lens is an entirely different color than it is on the practical model. Example, A12, or not the A12, the pulse rifle in Aliens. Everybody always sees it as green on camera. They were actually brown. There's a laundry list of props that are garish in person, but when they're on camera, they look a different way. But when you work for Hasbro at a time, they had access to the full archives. So they may have pulled that, and that thing looked lavender, and it appears lavender in person. You wanted the green stuff instead of harness? Yeah. Yep. Once it gets painted up and everything, it's going to look a lot more groovy, I think. Yep. Did they use that on Face Off? I believe that. Fabri-Tac does a good job for Drool and stuff too. Yeah. Fabri-Tac and 2-part epoxy. You can cheat. You can use hot glue too, but depends. And the hot glue trick, there's a further trick to it other than just dripping it on there and letting it cure, because it'll cure almost opaque, that kind of cloudiness. You then dip it in hot water real quick and yank it out, and that clarifies the hot glue. It's another trick that people use when they make crystals out of hot glue for molding and casting. If they want a smoother surface, they carve their crystal out of the hot glue stick, and then they just dunk it in boiling water real quick and pull it out and let it dry, and it super smooths the outside of that surface, and then they mold and cast it, and they have a nice, easily polishable crystal effect. I would say probably like 7 or 8 horses to 1 Triceratops. I feel like that's a pretty fair ratio. Yeah. Imperial officer suits are green, but look gray. Absolutely. Han's jacket, that's another one. So you guys get it. Like that lavender flight suit that they were giving him may very well from the archives be that color. And them's just the ropes. Them using the real thing. You know, the real McCoy at the studio may actually be the different color, but we want it, you know, and I completely understand that, wanting it to be the thing that you see on the TV versus you know, what they give you from the toy store. But hey, in some cases, that's what customizing's for, right? Like, that's why we do this, because we want to make the shit our own. And sometimes if you're not happy with it and you're you know, ultimately not satisfied, quickest way to reach that agreement is to do it yourself. A little bit of DIYing. Come on, you bastard. There we go. And yep. And the fact that Luke's pants were fucking blue jeans, and for years the costumers fought trying to deduce what pants those were, and they were a pair of Levi jeans that had been, I think they had been bleached or, you know, washed white, or maybe they were white jeans. I don't know what there was in the fucking 70s, man. But yeah, people spent years hand sewing pants to try and match that, like getting the right material, the right khaki color, and all this other stuff. And then it turns out they were quite literally an off the rack pair of jeans. It's wild. Okay. So let's start thinking. That's just so I'm amused. This absolutely amuses me. This fit. Just like that. That's super cool. We'll have some fun with those in another time. But yeah, let's as far as the chair, I don't know if I want to have a chair or if I just want to have a standing platform with a couple of handles. Something to, I guess, steer the dino would be I guess how my brain wants to say it, or at least have some sort of control over it. Although it could be autonomous. Someone could walk next to it. I don't know. We'll figure that much out. And I do want to make a bit for the bottom of this foot here, just to help elevate it a little bit. That was strange. Yeah, I mean the megafauna on this planet are definitely beasts of burdens. So I'm trying not to be too precious in like the, you know, some of them are a lot cooler and have, you know, more interesting tasks and are more appreciated by their keepers versus other ones. I'm trying not to go too deep into that, because that ain't me. Like, I absolutely understand a farm animal's place, and gimmick isn't exactly a super civilized world. It's civilized as far as humanities go, but or what we would call space humanities. But also there's there's work to be done. Let's see. Different from time, Star Wars religiously as a boy, and all of a sudden there's silver leg. I think our local Kmart, this guy would put over a magnet for theft and run the tape. Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I think at that point you got to go to like a supervisor or something. And I hate doing that because I'm all about the worker on the floor. Like I absolutely get it, but also like if this person is clearly has no understanding of what they're doing and they keep ruining items that you purchase, someone's got to sit them down and tell them, hey, knock that shit off. Criminal outlaw and criminal haven. Yeah, there's definitely a crime element to Gimmick. That part is the truth, but it's not overly, it's not overly crime heavy. It's just people trying to live out their life. Maybe they're finally retired from crime. Maybe they just want a place to lay low for a while and not do, shit. Maybe kind of like a Tortuga type place, but without the complete Tortuga experience of, wretched scum and villainy. I don't know. I just work here, man. Okay. That's there. Jesus Christ. One of the reasons I'm having such trouble making this guy balance correctly is not only the faux leg, but the fact that when they cast this on the Jurassic Park 3 knockoff, or on the actual one, the legs actually have a little bit of flex out. These don't have it. They literally copied the piece, put a peg on it, and put a hole to pop it in. So I can't manipulate them the way this guy the way I want to. So he winds up looking one leg like peg leg short because of just the way that they place these. So I'm trying to figure out like how can I create like a shoe or something that fits, that's not too out of place. And I think this is it, what I've got going on here. So I'm gonna hot glue that in place. I think I'll feel comfortable with that hot glued in place instead of regular glued. We'll do it right on the paw. Just stomp that bad boy in there. Nice. And we can go back in with some tack, put it on there. Because again, I want that to be like the next, the thing it steps and lets the other foot know that it's time to be lifted. Because this is something that somebody put together. Maybe they did have a lot of love for this Triceratops, right? And this was their like prized worker, and they wanted to take care of it, so they made this ramshackled leg because getting a prosthesis is expensive, and here we are. So yeah, I like it when the pieces tell me a little bit more about their lore. So let's get do I want to use these for this? So I've got these. I don't want to put those there. Put them on the outside, which would help keep stuff in. But I also feel like these would be better suited somewhere else. And then just for shits and giggles, we also have this, which we could have them out here on the run, just throwing up flack every time a bad ship comes by. I thought about that. I don't know. Maybe he loves him. I don't know, man. I just work here. Again, that's actually that's kind of goddamn cool. That's straight up Dino Rider vibes right there. And we'd have to put, yeah, I guess that would stop that, right? Push that forward. Yeah. Stops him from blowing his horns off. That's funny. Oh, we got something else we can always stick on there, so that's cool. Maybe I'll embed a magnet in that part. Well, again, I'm like at this point, I'm not even convinced that anybody operates this dude. I think he's autonomous, or at least like walked to where he's going. That could change. Let's see here. I mean, that could work. Just add some. Yeah. It's getting to be a little more complex than I wanted him to be, boys, but he's come together. Droid has the driver. Now, again, I don't think. Bring back Dino Riders. Again, I don't know necessarily that he needs a driver or a rider. Maybe he gets pulled along by a droid or directed by a droid. That could be a fun dynamic. A little construction droid or a pit droid moving him along. That's hot. Hot glue. Maybe that's where the name hot glue came from. You think? Do you think so, Famine? Oh, I know what I could do. And if anybody watching this, they're like, okay, that's the way to hot glue. Don't use your finger to wipe away the hot glue. I've been doing this for years. I've got little calluses on my fingies. Like, don't copy me. That's one thing I can safely say. Do not do as I say, not as I do on that. Been doing this for years. Have built up the tolerance and then the knowledge of when it's too hot. Like my Gorilla Glue hot glue gun, that son of a bitch is a high temp, like super high temp. You do not push that glue off until it's had a couple of minutes to sit. Because ooey. Nope. No, sir. Okay. Like, hell no. Let's change this music up. Yeah, I would sure love a Pelimoto. Let's go. Rock and roll. Rock and roll, brother. Hell yeah. Woo! Yeah. All right. Cool, I got ideas here. Let's get some more blue in here. Hmm. Right. So it'll make this look like, basically, like someone said, almost like an actual boot that slips over the foot. So whomever's idea that was, kudos. And I'm also going to add a couple of pieces of plating, almost like it's protection on the front. So when he pushes right through whatever he's working on, maybe he's got a little gear on there to protect his leggy. I think I like that. A little bit of lore. And it'll be leather. It'll be leather armor too. It's not gonna be metal. I'll add a strap or something to it, just so this guy looks a little even more loved, right? Like somebody said, maybe his handler or his owner is just fucking smitten with him and wants to take care of him. And there we go. So now we got a little shoe on him. He's goofing. He's new boot goofing. Put a little blue in there. And I think that's really cool. That's really cool, guys. That's cool. So we got that going on. We got comments in the chat. Let's take a dive into the chat. How we doing, chat? Ooh. Yeah. Beast of the Mesozoic, those are cool. They're just not my style of dinosaur. She hit the floor. And Shorty got low. Jesus, Bjorn, that's dark. If this were the old IRC days, and I was still a mod on those IRC chats, and you said that terrible joke, I would kick you from the channel. Exclamation point or /boot. Fat Red Foo. Out of the channel. You can come back in. Just know that was a terrible joke. Terrible joke. Imagine trying to wrestle a Triceratops to put a thing on him to stop him from, walking. Like, no, buddy, sorry, you're parked in the wrong spot. I don't care that your owner put you here. Hold still. As he just fucking stomps you to death. I think that's the appropriate response. Yeah. Keep coming back to those. Okay. All right. We've gotten to a nice spot here. So I've got some of these greeblies and stuff here I'd like to use. Jurassic Park accessory here. Is that stuck? It is stuck. Okay. Wonder if that could be like under. Yeah. Yep. Cool. So we've got a piece of something that fits right in there underneath. That'll help make this thing look more mechanical and more legit, especially when it comes to the dry brushing process of the underside. So let's get some hot glue on that. Nice. Just put a little bit. And if you're like me and you use hot glue for things that you normally wouldn't, you can use use a lighter and just gently swing the lighter over the whole thing, and it'll take care of those little spider webs and wisps that are left over. I know some people don't care about them. I see it in miniature hobbyists. The area of Gimmick is very dry. It gets occasional rain or certain weather anomalies move through. There are other locations on the planet that we have yet to explore that are that have plenty of moisture and things like that. But in this case, in this area, no. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and use these final faction pieces here. Little turbines make it look like maybe they're helping with the lift. Actually, I don't know what a turbine does. I'm not a flight scientist. I'm a doctor, not a scientist. Aren't doctors some type of scientist? Shut up, you. Snowflake really wants to get in right now, and I am trying to break her in the habit of walking in and out. Get her to learn, like, come hang out or chill out there. It's either or. It's not both. You can't just wander in and out, especially while I'm streaming. And so far, it's not going well. Just like, Father, I know you're in there. I could hear your voice. You're on that computer thing. So we got a little thrusters maybe to help balance so the load doesn't tumble off. Mine's turds. Yeah, maybe it makes the weight load for the dinosaur not feel so heavy. Yeah. See, the reason I'm not digging my bit spin out is because I don't want to. I don't want it taking up space on the table. I don't want to do all that. Now there's an idea. I could completely do his tail like a like the Dragon Zord from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. That'd be funny. Yeah, just because I worked in aerospace doesn't mean I'm an engineer. Doesn't mean old Famine knows everything. I try to know a lot about everything. I just don't. In this case, I don't know what it's there for. No. Use that, though. I've got this, Come on, Lenore. I've got this plate that we made one day on stream. I was showing off how to do rivets, different types of riveting, and I just made this really... I understand. I'm just having a laugh at myself here. Can actually cut it, fit it in there. Yeah, we'll just... Again, we're just filling this thing with miscellaneous technology to make it look like it does something. Doesn't need to actually does something. Yeah, and I especially don't want it to be known that I know things about things that fly with the way Boeing's, offing people, or allegedly offing people. Jesus Christ, I'll get sued for defamation. Go. Just got little plates and turbines in there. We stick some hoses in, I guess, some wires. What's up, pirates? Again, just some type of, tech, some unknown technology. It doesn't need to make sense. It's outer space. It's fiction. Let's see here. I hear you, my love. Yeah. You're out there and I'm in here. I know. That's how it works. What else do I have up here in my not bit bin? There we go. Got a little boxy guy here. We can stick him in. I don't even know what this is for. oddball greebly. Straight up stick that to the side. So maybe that's what I'll do. Yeah, that's going to be a side greebly. Super glue and stick here. Put it right in that little gap. Coincidentally, that's what I like to do. Yeah, just neat little greebly on there. Big stuff ready for tomorrow's live stream. Live stream? You mean Whip Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube? That Whip Wednesday? That live stream? I might have heard of it. What is that? Okay, there. Weird clip things again. Armor. All right, cool. Got like a bead thing that I can drape off this guy. Show he's got some class. I was a toy enthusiast once. It looks like I've got a second one of those little greeblies that I just put on the other side, so I'm going to put it on the opposite side over here. A little bit of symmetry. Never hurt. Well, I mean, I'm sure it's hurt somebody before. Symmetry's probably hurt somebody, but nobody that I know. One's been like, damn, these two things on either side being exact same, causing so much problems in my life. So we got that on that side. That. What's going on, Hicks? He gets it. Macon Hicks, how are you? And if you guys don't mind smacking that like button, if you haven't already, it does help the channel, shows more people that I'm live, pushes me up in the algorithm. You guys are, a lot of you are YouTubers, so you know what it's like fighting that algorithm. And once again, we'll run the name of my patrons on the bottom of the screen. Huge thank you, as always, to you guys. I appreciate everything you do. And I'll keep this little pouch separate. We can maybe put that up by the cockpit. Maybe it'd be good for like a remote to keep the remote control in there, you know, something. I've got some beaded like thing to hang down from the side, so that'll be cool. So the bad kid's name is Sid. What are you looking to do to your toys, man? That sounds kind of dark. How far can I push it before I'm looked at as the villain from Toy Story? Who did what to a dinosaur? Oh, I mean, for customizers, man, honestly, I don't think any of us really give a damn. about like other people's thoughts on if we go too far or if we do too much or whatever. Like, at least I don't. I mean, I'm sure you've seen, I've done a couple of lives where I've started hacking on, what are they? Vintage, vintage figures because I need a part, right? And some people get mad. They get real mad about that. And yeah, I'm working on it. I didn't do anything to it. I gave it a leg, man. It was missing a leg. I made it. I helped it walk. I gave it the ability to work again. I got it back into the workforce to prop up this economy because no one on Gimmick wants to work anymore. I tell you. Yeah, I would say as a customizer, never give two shits about what anybody who's not doing it says. And the people that are doing it, they will recognize that you're doing it also. And how's the expression go? Real recognizes real. So don't let anybody bust your balls. Don't let them bust your balls about this, right? Like, just do your thing. As long as you're not like making a scary fucking doll head on spider leg toy like Sid did. I don't think anybody's gonna, at least in our community, shouldn't be giving you any shit. And if they do, send them my way. Thousands of battle droids. If you have an army, now is the time. No, I don't think Sid was a misunderstood customizer. I think Sid was a troubled child. That dude was definitely going through it. Whatever it was, we don't know. Okay. There we go. Nice. So we got 3, because 3 is always better than 2. Woody's Roundup in the Wild Wild West. All right. Yeah. Let's do that. Sand that up a little bit so that takes paint later really well. Also, this will help the glue adhere for my next trick. Okay. And yeah, I think when it comes time, once the paint's on and everything, I'll go in with some hair tie hoses and just put them inside of there so it looks like it's got some cables feeding things, um, maybe some cables feeding a drive, some type of drive engine. And I think for a bumper, we can do some of this wire, this mesh. Yeah, that looks like something we can absolutely do. All right. To the scissors. Thank you. Yeah, don't overthink it. It's just you're customizing. It's your item. You paid money for it. If you want to customize this figure and make it do, you know, whatever, make it look like you want it to, do not be afraid to do that. Because at the end of the day, it is your toy, right? You spent the money on it. You were gifted it. You found it in a driveway somewhere. You know, little kids were playing 5 feet away, but they weren't paying attention. They should have been watching their toys. You helped yourself to teach them a lesson, and I understand that, and that's your your prerogative. I get it, but just don't let anybody tell you how you should play or what you should do with the thing that you purchase. Just don't overthink it. It's customizing. I mean, if you purchase something and like spitefully, destroy it for malice, I mean that's on you. Like, right? Like, talk to a therapist. But like, that's again, you spend the money on it. It's yours. That's your thing. So ain't nobody able to tell you otherwise. Art deflector. Man, you guys are taking it down to the dark and weird today. uh yeah, sometimes little, pirates, sometimes little kids, they leave things in the driveway and it's just sitting there and they're not paying attention to it. And, you know, they might get up and walk away. You never know. They might go inside for dinner and that toy's sitting in the driveway for, not even in the driveway, but on the sidewalk in front of their house for 2 or 3 days. And sometimes you just you got to get a hold of it, right? You got to get a hold of it for its own good and, rescue it. It's not that complicated. Sometimes sometimes they should just be watching their shit, It gets snatched. Or sometimes their parents sell you their kid's toy while the kid is screaming, crying at the yard sale, and you have to, stand there and not look like the asshole who doesn't care, because I don't, buying the toy. That's just me. That's just me. Hey, I never said I did. I'm just saying it happens, and they should be aware. Essentially, what it is a warning. That's all I'm putting out there. No one has ever seen me do that. The famine is not. You don't know that. You haven't seen. You have no proof. If you want to show me some video evidence of that happening, then we can discuss how I can make that go away. But in the meantime, no, famine ain't taking no toys from no children's. I'm just saying, there are people out there. There are people out there that view toys that kids leave outside on the sidewalk for 2, 3 days, or in your driveway or in front of your house. They view that as like stir sticks at a coffee house. You just, sometimes they're free, right? There you go. This guy gets it. Yeah, and stir sticks, right? You get it. Blame it on the eclipse. Justin's over here, you know, poaching content for other shows right now. That's fine. That's fine. It's not like the show's left on the sidewalk in front of somebody's house or something like that. Sci-fi related. Any number above 0 of any custom you come up with. Squad is awesome, of course. Yeah, see, you get it. Sometimes you just find random figures and you got to take them home. Check that out. Boom. It's got like a mesh bumper around it. Looks good. Adds a little bit of detail. Nice. I like that a lot, actually. That adds just a little bit of something, adds some ruggedness to it. It's interesting. Mesh. Yep, that is. Dude, dinosaurs, any large beasties, any type of like big creatures, beasts of burden are great for world building and great for sci-fi displays. Like, what is more science fiction than living dinosaurs in space? Like, come on. Science, it's fiction, it's all in one. I was a little rough on that. That was my fault. Sorry about that, y'all. That was my fault right there. Yeah, that was certainly my doing. Guess we'll put a little foam rect. Yeah. Put a piece of foam back there. Make it look like a metal plate. Easy peasy. We can do that. We can rebuild it. Make it stronger. Faster. Better. Thank you. That's all right. So I gotta ask you guys. You know, Lord Thane, Pirates. You guys are streamers, content makers, whatever you want to call yourselves, content creators. You gotta get imposter syndrome a little bit when somebody says, you know, like, "Oh, you're a big inspiration," or you know, like, you inspired me to do this. Like, I can't be the only one who's like, me. I feel like that. Like, I've learned to appreciate the sentiment from people. Like, I really, truly do. It's wonderful to hear when people are like, hey, your ideas are really helpful. I like them, but just, it's like, still to me, I'm just like, I'm just a worm. Like, what? What are you talking about? And whoever pins the I'm just a worm, I will send you, whoever can guess where that's from first in the chat, I'll send you 2 stickers. You just have to shoot me your address, and I will send those out. Nice. No, not Earthworm Jim. Phrase anytime. Nope, not Highlander either. Let me know when you guys want the answer. Not Wayne's World. So we got a dinosaur with a mechanical leg. There you go. Bjorn got it. Bjorn wins extra stickers. It's from Labyrinth. Got a cybernetic leg. We got this cart that's on there. I think it's coming together. Where'd that go? Son of a bitch. The capillary. No blue. The caterpillar. Like, I know you meant caterpillar. It just actually makes me laugh, the idea of a capillary. But no, it was the from Labyrinth. I'm just a worm. Bjorn, if you want, I can. I think you're in the physical items tier. I can just stick those stickers in that envelope if you're cool with that. Or I can send them a separate one. That also, it's also an option. It's up to you. You're the hot prize winner. Hot prize 97. Right. Yeah, now I'm just greebling this up. I am going to cover this wound. See, they cast the wound from the JP3 Trike, and you can actually see the button indent. But I'm going to cover that wound up. I thought about painting it, but I think I'm just going to... I don't know if I'll sculpt over it or if I'll put like an armor plate or I'll have a blanket or something over that saddle roll just over it. Just because I don't want a giant... Like that always frustrated me about the Jurassic Park 3 toys. They all had these giant gaping wounds that you couldn't cover, right? There was no... They were just wounded. All of the dinosaurs, every dinosaur was wounded. And it was like obnoxious having that in your display. So unlike where the Jurassic Park, where they have the piece that you could pop over it or be on a hinge, the Dominion toys, they all have covers and stuff on them now so that you can, keep your figure from being gravely wounded. I'm using one of those Lightyear bodies to make a Earthworm Jim custom. I think it's the perfect frame. It's got the big giant upper body, the giant, calves on the legs, and then I would just have to sculpt Jim himself to replace Buzz Lightyear's head. So there's a free idea if anybody wants to beat me to it. Thank you, thank you. And I think what I'll use for this space here is this rectangle. You guys can see through it. It's blocked off, now it's open, blocked off, now it's open. And so I might make a through bar to hang things from that's removable, but that's a little further down the line. I think I am quite happy with this guy for now. I like that. Looks like he could do some work. And then when this piece gets put on the front, after he's been painted up as like a, not only a hanging rack, but like a safety thing too. I think that'll look really badass. So mechanical and doing stuff. It's like, I'm a dinosaur. Rawr, bitch. Yeah. And I think do you anybody work in construction or drive trucks or whatever, they have a bed cover that rolls out. And I'm thinking maybe I put a fake, like make a faux bed cover on a post above that so it looks like it could roll over and cover whatever the pile of stuff is on there. I don't know. Or I could have it just, hang off the side. Who knows? Earthworm Jim is where they go to work out. Earthworm Jim is a cartoon character from here in the States and Canada. Was very popular in the mid-90s. Came out right around the time of Freakazoid and all those other kind of zany shows. It's not a tonneau cover. It's like a tonneau cover, but tonneau covers are more like fitted perfectly to fold flat. This is like a rollout cover. Headache bar. Yeah, headache bar is actually close to it. The whole time as you hear it fucking as you're driving down the road. Tarp and tie down with wire. I could. Actually, you weren't here for this, Pirates, but I found I have a plastic box that slots into there perfectly. It's 2 pieces, so I have 2 of them. And then we also found out that the little base that comes with the Predator figures or the Alien figures fits in there nicely too. So in theory, I could make something up that looks like it's a covered tarp. But yeah, it's a... there's a thing on the back of the truck, and then you pull the cover over and tie it down. But you guys more or less get what I'm saying. But I like that. I still can't get over the idea that those fit so snugly. That's like super serendipitous. This was from a pin from work that they sent us. It was a magnetic pin, and I was like, okay, cool. And I took the pin out and I set it aside because I'm not in office, so I don't wear like work outfits and have my pin on my badge and all that stuff. Like, not for me. But I had this box and I was like, oh, I'll repurpose that into something. And that fits so nicely. So those are going to be cool. I can actually probably make like different piles and just, have one be, a pile of dirt and the other one be, mechanical pieces or whatever. Could be anything. Could be moving ammo crates. Could be, a couple of these things. Who knows? Who's to say? Not me. Again, I just work here. I just think that's so freaking cool that fit like that. What are you doing, boys? You behaving? And then I pulled this old piece from another display that I had, and I had stripped it of its greeblies. And I will absolutely put this to use somewhere else. just leave that alone for now. But I'll probably keep it like this. I'll just like reposition it and have it standing somewhere else in like a corner or whatever. But that was a good save from a previous project. I like that. Man, I really kind of want to make its tail into like a gun. I don't know that I'll do that, but it's tempting. Gotta learn to clean up as I go. Old Famine's a little messy boy here. All right. Put this phone back where I got it. Okay. Well, that was just done with me. What you doing, Mama Rosie? You look so sleepy, young lady. Tail Gunner. Tail Gunner 6. Who remembers that comic book? Tail Gunner Joe. Was it Tail Gunner Joe? No, it was Tail Gunner 6. Tail Gunner Joe something different, I think. I don't know. I just work here again. We will talk about this sometime soonish. I know Fat Red Food brought it up. I know you guys see some other buildings in the background. Those will be spoken about. We're going to work on some of those. But yeah, I'm super happy with the progress that we made today. Again, we got that on there. We fixed the leg. We gave him a boot with some armor on there. I do like the idea of just like a heavy, chunky leather piece of armor to keep him protected. We put little turbines on that bitch to make it, help with the weight. Who knows? But hope you guys certainly enjoyed this. I enjoyed the stream today. It was good having fun, joking around. We laughed, we cried. Tail Gunner Joe. Tail Gunner Joe's the anime. Tail Gunner, or was, I don't know. I just work here again. There was a comic book I used to collect from early 90s that was 10 or something, and there was somebody, and I think his daughter's voice was stuck in his head, like her consciousness. That's Tail Gunner Joe. But we got a lot done today, so I'm very happy, very thankful for that. If you haven't already, please be sure to smack that like button. It does help the channel. If you're new here and you're not subscribed, I do this every Tuesday, live streaming, unless I put up a notice where I'll be doing it on another night. But generally, it is Tuesdays. So please feel free to subscribe. I also have long-form content, reels. We do some unboxings. I do a couple of cosplay props here and there. So there's a lot going on this channel. We have friends that visit. We have friends that pop up and join us on streams. It's always a good time. I dip my mustache in my drink sometimes. And if you want to help out the channel, if you are in a position to contribute, or if you just want to sign out on, if you want to sign up for the free tier, we have a Patreon. I will go ahead and put that link there. It's also pinned at the top of the chat. Go check it out. Subscribe if you can. If not, hit that free tier. Just as a great way to keep up and keep track of things. And yeah, so cryptids, as far as the cryptids go, I do an episode whenever World Makers Consortium isn't streaming. I think that's kind of where I'm falling on that. So the next time WMC takes a break, it'll be a Friday night at 10, unless I get some like groundbreaking, cool cryptid stuff where I get a super, super urge to be like, man, I gotta talk about this. I'll hit the, I'll put up a post. We'll go live, but usually I do the cryptid specials on Friday nights when World Makers Consortium is on. You can pick up shirts on TeePublic. You can also get Rusty Jackalope Provisions Company shirts. You can get Famine Studio shirts. So if you like jackalopes, hit my stuff up. And as also, be sure to hit these guys up tomorrow with Wednesdays. Pirates of the Galaxy and Lord of Thane. They have their show 5 p.m. Eastern here on YouTube. And I hope you guys have an excellent day. If you're going to be watching Fallout tomorrow, don't spoil it for anybody because it's coming out early. It's coming out at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of Thursday at midnight. Awesome. I plan on binge watching Thursday with Blood Honey Sin. We're going to sit down and watch that. I'm very excited. I hope you guys have an excellent week. Be well, as always. Too sweet me. And yeah, we did Space Dinos again.